As we've seen so far for interoperability between IPv4 and IPv6, there's not a lot necessarily for us to do. A lot of things are done for us automatically, like with ISATAP. ISATAP already establishes its IP address. Using that IP4 address, we can recognize it when we see it, and that can be used to tunnel through an IPv4 based network that's within our corporate walls. Now, we do have a couple of additional things that are very similar to ISATAP, but used for certain cases. First of all, 6-to-4 addresses are very similar to ISATAP, although instead of our internal networking and tunneling through our internal networking, 6-to-4 addresses are used to tunnel out to an intranet, the intranet or a corporate intranet, but outside of your corporate walls. Now, 6-to-4 addresses are also similar in a lot of respects to the ISATAP addresses in that your IPv4 address is part of it, but it's almost always in hexadecimal. And the format that they put it in is a little bit different on the 6-to-4 addresses. Now, in 6-to-4 addressing, there's really not much for you to do. This is all configured for you automatically, though there are some settings that can be changed based upon your network structure, and this would come from your network team, such as, are your routers enabled for 6-to-4 addressing? If you think about your physical routers, they will need an additional configuration to those routers to handle 6-to-4 addressing, and you could even assign the 6-to-4 routers to your clients if you wanted to. Besides 6-to-4, now 6-to-4 is for internets. A lot of people getting the internet, you, me, many of us, have a challenge in that there's a NAT in the way. So a NAT device is separating us from our own internal networks to the internet or an internet. And 6-to-4 addresses many times cannot cross a NAT device. So we have a different tunneling protocol to deal with NAT devices called Teredo. Now, Teredo is a tunneling protocol that encapsulates IPv6 packets into an IPv4 UDP message, and that enables the ability to tunnel information between hosts across a NAT device. Now, in Server 2012, the Teredo client is already enabled, but it's not active. It gets active when you install an application that understands and needs to use Teredo, and Teredo then will determine the NAT settings, and you'll be able then to communicate across the NAT. So when you look at the three of these together, you can see that the interoperability goal of trying to make life easy was hard to do, but yet they managed to accomplish this in a lot of respects. ISATAP automatically configures its addressing, which we've seen and we went out to take a look at. 6-to-4 addresses use IPv4 public addresses to talk on an internet, and we don't have to do much for that. And Teredo, same thing. Now, there might be some additional configure information that you need to configure for your network that your network team would like regarding these particular protocols. And you can do that through a group policy. And I'm going to show you that in just a second, where that group policy is located for ISATAP, 6-to-4, and Teredo. There's also some PowerShell commandlets that'll let you get some information on 6-to-4 and let you set some information, just like with ISATAP. But let's go take a look at those group policy settings.